POL322, and so far it's been interesting as we have been talking about federalism. And today, still going to be discussing about federalism, but from our course towards a different direction. Still on federalism though, but we're going to be looking at federalism form using the case study, the United States of America, as we have the thumbnail USA federalism. So I want to consider what federalism was like, or what federalism was like from the very genesis of the country, how it was practiced, and we're going to be taking a couple of points though. So for those of us who are new to the stream, let's ensure to subscribe if you haven't done that yet, and most importantly, let's ensure to join the private class where we walk you through all your courses without leaving any course unattended to. And how do you get to become a member of a private class? All you need to do is reach out to us on our official website, which is www.tutorio.net. On the homepage, find the WhatsApp button in the top right hand corner. Use that to send a direct message, and we'll be happy to have you on board. Okay, so let's hop straight into today's class. Now, we have it. It says, according to what we have in the course material, the United States of America content. That's what we have in the course material. All right. So it's basically still the same thing we are talking about. And because I'm talking about the federalism of this country, let's dive into things. Now, the United States of America was the first, okay, the first modern federation. Okay, happens to be the first modern federation. And indeed, the federal constitution can be regarded as Americans' contribution to constitution making. All right. So America was originally a confederation. Remember as a confederation when sovereign states come together to form an holistic or a powerful centralized government. All right, for the purpose or for the aim of achieving something they could not achieve individually. All right, so initially it was a confederation. All right, American was originally a confederation, and this confederation is of 13 states. Okay, now let's. It's going to be more points. Okay, now it's going to be more points. So please let's pay detailed attention to this. So what is what we said the other time? First modern federation. First modern All right, federation. Are we together? Now, originally, American, all right, originally, America was a confederation, all right, originally, America was a confederation. Are we building our points already? It was is made up of 13 states. All right. This confederation was made up of 13 states. Confed, we have 13 states. Now, after some time, or after a while, this confederation, these 13 states, also transformed, evolved into what we refer to as a federal union. That was in 1787. So in 1787 became a Fed union. Are we getting this point? First modern federation, originally a confederation, and this converted into this later now is 1787, evolved into a federal union. Now, the United States of America embodies a number of racial stocks. All right. Now we'll talk about racism. It's on another level. All right, but I wouldn't want to say much. But maybe all understand what it means by racism. I think it was in HED 311 we talked about stereotyping. All right, but you can find that in racism. It's something which is something we don't want to talk about. Something we don't want to see happening. All right, even though it's still happening in some part of the world, but it's being fought by good people. All right, when certain rules, certain policies, certain regulations are just created, all right, to limit, to deny certain people because of the color of their skin, or because of where they come from, or because of how they look, all right, they are denying certain freedom, certain privilege, all right. So, level of racism at this, all right, at this time was on another level. Okay, that's my mouse. Okay. Now let's take a step further. As we have said, that American embodies a number of racial, all right, stocks. Now, basically, currently, all right. So, and speaking of which, just like we have Nigeria as well, whereby we have different ethnic society, all right. The same thing goes for United States as well, all right. Different races came together to form this country, all right? Different races. And that was the reason why Federation, that was the reason why, that was the reason why We said something about the very first thing we said being the first modern uh, federation, right? Because when you consider different people from different race, from different background of life, you need to put them into consideration when coming together to form a country. Now, currently, the United States is a all right. So to some extent, they have the right to exercise their own um, sovereignty. The same thing we are talking about here. It's all about federation, the federal system. In 17, all right, established and power are divided between a general government, which in certain matters is independent of government of associated individual states have the right, the liberty. Now, what are we trying to say here? Yes. So as the American federalism has gone through tremendous changes as well. All right. Definitely you cannot compare what is currently happening now to what cope with the current dispensation. Are we together? So we have to understand. Now it says today at all levels of government, federal, state, and local play greater roles in the lives of their citizens. So it's no longer the responsibility of the federal. If the federal does not give us allocation, we cannot survive. No, it doesn't work that way anymore. So at all levels, whether it is the local government level or the state level or the federal level, all right, each and every one of them plays a great role, a greater role evolves as well. Now, speaking of the political history, in 1492, a bit stable now, but let's still observe it. Okay, well, well, now, just like definitely every country, every state, every space was once occupied by indigenes. Okay, so over time, migration could happen, um, subjugation could take place, overtaking can happen, right? But according to what we have in the material, we are being told that indigenous people live in what we now, all right, in what is United States before that state was created. Remember, we said from 13 states, then 50 states. Before that state was created, we had indigenous people living there for thousands of years. And that's why the origin, the political history of these states has been a matter of debate, all right, has been a subject of debate among historians because cannot trace or there have not been any publication that have been able to trace accurately the origin, the political history of this state, all right, to a particular race. Why? Because these states we are referring to as the United States is being occupied by has been occupied by indigenous people for thousands of years. Even before the arrival of Christopher Columbus in 1492. Are we together? All right. And with time, so I think we should take that down. Referred to as the United States was occupied by indigenous. All right. Let me put that clearly. Occupied by indigenous people for thousands of years. Are we together? For thousands of years. All right. And with time, then these indigenous people began to experience, all right, European colonialists, which came mostly from after 16,000, all right, as a dead. And by the 1770s, they experienced 13 British colonies, all right. Now there has been changes, and we now have colonies containing 2.5 million of people. All right, and we have that as that. Now, as things begin to happen, as things begin to evolve, tax was introduced. I think it was, yeah, it's in this same course we talked about the Roman Empire and this set of fighters that will not submit to the taxation system of the Roman Empire in Judea. All right. So the same thing we are talking about here. There was a tax resistance. All right. In things begins to change. We now have states from 13 states to 50 states and colonies. Tax is now being introduced, and at the end of this tax system, all right, there was a resistance, and the resistance actually happened in a whole lot of states. Caught international attention, all right, is that of the Boston, the resistance that happened at the Boston Tea Party in 1774. Now, this was a thing from the service provider. Thank you. So, as I was explaining, there was a tax plan, all right, and the one that caught the attention the most is the one that happened at the Boston Tea Party. All right, in 1774. Now, due to this, something happened. A drastic decision was taken. Remember, we said this state, they have the liberty to make their laws and exercise their sovereignty. But due to what happened in Boston, all right, there was a law called the Punitive Law. This law was passed by the Parliament, all right, and this law is for the purpose of putting an end to government in one of the states called, all right, in one of the states, and end to self government, self government, all right, self government in Massachusetts. Okay, as Massachusetts. Now, this led to armed conflict. It was serious. Like, it led to armed conflict. All right, in the same Massachusetts, and American patriots drove out the royal officials out of every colony and assembled mass meetings and conventions. Now, those patriots, all right, those patriot governments in the colonies then unanimously empowered their delegates to declare, all right, their delegates to Congress to declare independence. Now, in July 1776, all right, Congress created the independent nation called the United States of America. However, the central government established the Article of Confederation proved ineffectual at providing stability at, all right, as it had no authority to collect tax and no executive officer. Even though, yes, they declared independence, but still, all right, they said other states, all these states have the liberty to create their law, all right, but they were still denied the ability to collect tax. Are we together? So, but with time, the Congress called another convention, all right, in Philadelphia in 1787 to revise, all right, the Article of Confederation. Now, it wrote a new constitution which was adopted in 1789, all right, and this helped them to begin to collect, to put things into order and ensure a more stable governance. So we have to understand. And the evolution, all right, of federalism. Let's talk about the evolution of federalism. All right, so the likes of Katz in 1999, all right, is of the opinion that American federalism, all right, is of the origin, all right, of an eruption moving in a new direction. Now, it was, of course, that the convention that produced the constitution, all right, due to the um, resistance, all right, the farmers of the constitutions rejected both the confederal and the unitary model. So before federalism was adopted, all right, all that system has been proposed, but they were rejected. All right, the confederal and unitary models of governance. Instead, they based the new American government on entirely new theory known as federalism. Are we together? So we have that. So how does this federalism works? All right. How does this federalism works? We call intergovernmental relations. Now, the national government has three branches. All right, three branches. These three branches are the national government, as we have said. We have the bicameral Congress serving as the legislative branch. They make the law. We have the elected presidents heading the executive branch, and we have the Supreme Court heading the judicial branch, just like also in Nigeria here, where we have the legislature, the executive, and the judiciary. So for them, the bicameral Congress serving as the legislative branch, all right, independently elected president heading the executive branch, and we have the Supreme Court heading the judicial branch. So we have that as that. So basically, we're going to be calling it wrap here. And in our next class, we're going to be taking it up from Switzerland content. And hopefully, tomorrow we'll finish with this course. I want us to finish everything we have to on this course. And by Monday, we are moving to a new course entirely. Thank you very much, everyone. I believe we have been able to gain something into this class. Please just ensure to keep our notes up to date and send them to the appropriate quarters. Do have a wonderful evening and bye for now.